Cleveland Browns, forget everything you think you know, because Deshaun Watson's throne is shaking and Shedeur Sanders is coming for the job.
Cleveland Browns fan or not, Deshaun Watson is the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. The job that Deshaun Watson is going to get, Uncle Joe, it is his job to lose. He has 6 weeks. I guarantee you, listen to me now. I'm calling it right now, Uncle Joe. He has 6 weeks to make sure that team is playing above or better than whatever the expectations may be for that team and that quarterback. If he's not, Shedeur Sanders will fall in line as the backup and be the starter for the remainder of the season.
I don't think.
Time we talked about the Cleveland Browns quarterback battle, we didn't know it was a battle. We thought it wasn't a battle, but now it seems like it might be a battle. Jeremy Fowler was on ESPN and had some things to say about it. I'll let you guys take a listen.
Jeremy, what should we know about the Browns quarterback competition between Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson?
Laura, this is a true heated battle, and this one's only going to heat up in training camp. As was told to me, Deshaun Watson went into the spring as the clear favorite, and that Shedeur Sanders has bridged the gap at least somewhat. I still believe Deshaun Watson's in a good position. I'm told he was moving like a major athlete again, coming off those Achilles tears. He's
moving like a major athlete, and Shedeur Sanders bridging the gap to Deshaun Watson. Fellas, do you guys think Deshaun Watson should be worried right now about his starting job?
No. No. Deshaun Watson going to start week 1. And I've said this, it's easier to bench him when their season runs afoul. And that's what's going to happen. You don't want to start Shedeur and then, week 5 or 6, I got to bench him. He's a young guy. And so I believe Deshaun Watson will start the season. And if they're doing well, then that's a great thing for the Cleveland Browns. I don't believe they're going to do well. They're in a division that's tough, and they just lost one of the best players in the National Football League on the other side of the ball in Myles Garrett. And so I just don't. Bridging the gap, that's fine. You've made the competition a little closer. All that means is Deshaun Watson will be on a shorter leash if Shedeur continues to bridge the gap and make this closer. They'll feel a little more comfortable when that time comes. So now instead of it being week 5, 6, 7, it may be week 3 or 4. That just means Deshaun Watson has a shorter leash.
Is it possible in your mind to play well when you're going out there with a rookie Casey Concepcion, a rookie Denzel Boston, and Jerry Jeudy? Well, obviously the running game I love.
Harold Fanning, who played well. Yeah.
But like, can you play well? What is well look
Deshaun
like?
Watson cannot have these games where he's not even throwing for 100 yards, because that's what was going on. He's barely getting 120 yards passing in the National Football League in today's game.
But is it fair, and you played receiver, so it's a great question for you. Is it fair to compare well to a quarterback when the Browns probably clearly have the worst receiver room in the AFC North? Not even the NFL, just the North. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, clear. DK Metcalf,
and
dude
Pittman,
from the Colts,
Pittman,
clear. And then the amalgamation of Zay Flowers plus Mark Andrews plus
Rashad Bateman,
like the amalgamation of all those characters, still I would suggest
accomplishments. It's not even close to have the worst receiver room. Accomplishments.
It would be the biggest anomaly in the history of sport. Maybe we've seen it from Tiger.
For him to come back and
for
play
for an athlete to play at the level Deshaun played at, be bad for 6 years, and then come back and be good again. I can't think of a football player that's done it.
I don't know about being bad, but George Foreman coming back winning but he was retired. He was older.
Now,
but being bad and then coming, yes, I don't think we've ever seen that.
I know who you're thinking of, Kieran, but I don't think it relates. Go ahead.
So Kurt Warner won 2 MVPs, won a Super Bowl. Then from 2002 until 2008 that he had a good year. So about that 6-year span. 1, 2, 3.
Cleveland is collapsing into chaos. Watson's throne is shaking, and Shedeur Sanders is coming. This was never supposed to be a battle. Deshaun Watson was supposed to own this locker room, a franchise quarterback, a $230 million decision, a locked-in future. And yet, the silence has cracked.
Because now, whispers are turning into warnings.
Shedeur Sanders is no longer just a developmental name on a depth chart. He is closing the gap fast. What was once labeled a situation with no competition is now being described as a heated battle inside training camp. And the NFL world didn't see it coming this early. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN put it bluntly, this is no longer comfort territory for Watson. It is pressure, real pressure. The Browns didn't plan for this storm, but it's already here. But the real shock isn't that there's competition, it's how fast the foundation beneath Watson is starting to crack. The numbers are not comforting. Sources inside the league are circling a brutal timeline. 6 weeks. That's it. If Watson cannot elevate this team above expectation level in that window, the conversation changes completely. And the concern isn't just theory, it's production. There have been stretches where Watson is barely reaching 100 to 120 passing yards per game. In today's NFL, that is not survival. That is collapse. One analyst said it without hesitation. If he's not producing, the leash shortens. And when the leash shortens, everything changes. Because here is the reality in Cleveland. Short leash doesn't mean patience. It means replacement planning has already started. And that is where Sanders enters the frame. Not as hype, but as pressure. And as Watson fights against time, something unexpected is happening on the other side of the field. What was once dismissed as development is now being described as acceleration. Shedeur Sanders is not just learning the system, he is bridging the gap to the starting quarterback. That phrase matters, because insiders told ESPN's Jeremy Fowler something's shifting. Watson entered spring as the clear favorite, but Sanders has cut into that lead. Not erased it yet, but narrowed it enough to change the conversation inside the building. And that is where danger begins for veterans. Because in the NFL, competition is not about equality. It's about momentum. And right now, the momentum is no longer fully controlled by Watson. It is splitting. But this isn't just a quarterback story. It's a roster story, and maybe even a survival story for Cleveland's entire offense. The debate is turning uncomfortable. Can any quarterback succeed in this environment? The Cleveland offense is under scrutiny, especially the receiving group. Compared to elite AFC North firepower, Cincinnati has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Baltimore has a multi-layered attack with Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. Pittsburgh brings DK Metcalf-level explosiveness. And Cleveland? The argument is brutal. They may have the weakest receiving room in the division. That changes everything. Because now the question is not just who is better. It becomes who can survive this offense at all. Even analysts questioning Watson's numbers admit context matters. But context doesn't stop criticism. Production still decides careers. And when the NFL starts questioning whether something has ever been done before, history always gets dragged into the argument. The hardest truth in this entire situation? History is not on Watson's side. There is almost no precedent for a quarterback declining for years, then suddenly returning to elite form at this stage under pressure. Some comparisons get thrown around. Late career resurgences, veteran rebounds, long gap returns to form. But even legendary cases fall short of this scale. One comparison brought up was Kurt Warner, a unique rise and resurgence story. Another was George Foreman, a comeback in a completely different sport, under completely different conditions. But even analysts admit, there is no clean NFL comparison for this exact trajectory, which makes this situation unpredictable and volatile. And so everything collapses into one final reality, a decision that could come sooner than anyone expects. 6 weeks. That number is now the shadow over everything. If Watson performs, the narrative stabilizes. If he doesn't, the transition becomes inevitable. Not hypothetical, not distant, inevitable. Because when a young quarterback like Shedeur Sanders starts closing distance inside a system already underperforming, the organization begins to shift quietly. Week 3, Week 4, Week 5. That's where decisions are made behind closed doors. And once those doors open, starting roles don't always go back. The Cleveland Browns are not just evaluating a quarterback, they are evaluating the future of the franchise. And right now, the throne is not secure. It is shaking, and what happens next in Cleveland may not just define a season, it could redefine everything we thought we knew about the Browns' future.
Yo, mic check 1 to 2, -1, -2. Game over for this video, folks. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to stay in the huddle for more. This is NFL Madness, bringing the heat and signing out.